We are exploring and unlocking our guest today's key memories.
Key memories.
And
I like
today
it.
we have a very awesome guest, Ronnie Rothstein.
That's me. That's me. We on there.
Yeah, so I don't really have an intro, as you see. I just kind of go because the whole point of this is just to be like talking and having a good time, having fun.
You don't need an intro.
Yeah, I tried it, and it was like,
Like just something to say at the beginning of every.
Yeah, I tried it. I might go back to it though. I don't know. I be watching
I
Joe
haven't
Rogan.
heard it, so. Oh yeah.
He don't really have an intro. He has his logo, and then they just talking.
Yeah, sometimes that's better.
Yeah, but I still have to introduce people, and we're introducing you now.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man.
This is all about discovering the cool things about people.
Okay.
And learning, because I
Yeah.
like to learn. So I be wanting to talk to just people that are cool, people that have knowledge I don't,
Yeah.
and like I said, unlock their key memories.
Got you.
But even though my name is Keyshawn, the key memories has nothing to do with my name.
I don't believe you.
I swear, when I thought of it, I was like, oh, that is kind of fire. They was the ones that was like, hey, it has key in it. And I was like, because I don't want it to be about me.
I mean, but it has to be like related to you. That way it rings bells and people remember and stuff. It's okay to like.
I don't want to be famous, though.
I mean, it's not up to you, honestly.
I know. That's why I'm doing this, because somebody told me, Pink told me I should do a podcast.
Yeah.
Because I was doing her podcast she produced, Manga Mentality, my first podcast.
Oh, about the anime stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
big
was
up
like,
to Pink.
yeah, shout out Pink Noise, Queen of New York. But yeah, it went viral, man. And she was like, you did really good. You should do your own thing.
Yeah.
And so I
I
BS'd
can see that.
after she told me that. It's been like almost a year now. And I was like, let me just start doing it. Because I haven't even showed her or told her yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know, by the time this episode comes out, she might know.
She probably gonna be like, why you didn't get me on it?
You're right. So we'll see. But yeah, we're here. It's about you, though, not me.
So,
what about you, though? Like, who are you?
That's what I was
Yeah.
just gonna say. Like, so what about me?
Who is Ronnie? Is Ronnie even your real name?
I mean, my government name is Ronald.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I thought I used to just say that as a joke.
I mean, I feel like everybody. Well, I mean, I feel like everybody whose name is Ronnie, their government name is Ronald, but maybe not. Just like people whose name is Bob's real name is Robert.
I hate that. Why? That doesn't make sense. Like, Bobby is a nickname
And
to
then,
Robert.
like, if your name is William, you're Bill. Like Bill Clinton's name is William something. I think it's J. Clinton.
Wait, Bill Clinton, the president?
Yeah.
We've been using a nickname for the president? His real name isn't Bill?
His name is William, but that's like it says that on everything, like when when he had an office probably in the White House, it probably said William Clinton.
Nah, I went to the White House.
His
It said
ID.
Bill.
Yeah, I'm saying like, yeah, so Bill, William. But anyway, yeah, so my real name, of course, is Ronald. That's my government name. I was picked on as a kid, Ronald McDonald.
That's why they used to, like.
That's why I don't tell people my government. I mean,
That's crazy.
not that's why, but I mean,
I shouldn't have
grew
laughed
up.
at that.
I grew up being called Ronnie and Rondo. Like at school, I was Ronnie, but my family does call me Rondo.
Dang, I thought I made that up too. I'd be saying, what's
Well, I
up,
know
Rondo?
I heard you and Nick saying it, so I don't know who I heard saying it first, but
It was me.
that was like one of my childhood nicknames. It comes from like for me, it comes from like I think my aunt, there was like a soda pop back in the day or something. I think that's what it was called, and for whatever reason, that's what they start calling me.
So, Ronald.
Right, here we go.
Where do you hail from?
From the sunny, hot ass state of Arizona, Phoenix to be exact. Phoenix, Arizona, on the other side.
Why did your mom name you Ronald?
That's my dad's name.
You're a junior.
I'm the second.
I never knew that.
Yeah. People used to ask me that too. Are you a junior? I'm like, nah, I'm the second. Because it's the same thing, but it's not. You just don't have JR. It's literally Roman numeral 2, like Ronald in the second.
This is some key information.
Right. I've been knowing you for how long?
I really didn't know that.
You've seen my mail before.
Does it say it on your name?
Some
Is
of it
Ronald
does.
on there?
Like if it's a bank statement, you got to put your real name or something, like, so.
I never knew that. I never paid attention.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ronald
From
the
Phoenix.
second from Phoenix.
Yeah.
Talk about growing up in Phoenix. What was that like? Because I'm from Michigan where it snows. And
Right.
You from
Yeah. You a
Phoenix where it
snowbird.
don't.
No, it was dope. Like it seemed like now that I'm looking at like the temperatures they get now. I'm like, damn, how was I like outside as a kid?
At 115 degrees.
But it seems like I don't know if. I mean, it definitely was probably hot like it is now back then. But you just be like, damn, like I must not have felt that as a kid. Like kids don't feel the heat or something like that. But I was outside, man. I was like, we had a basketball hoop in the driveway, so I'm hooping or riding my bike or going to the park. Back then, we was like outside more, and I don't know if our parents were necessarily as worried about like you getting snatched up or kidnapped because I'm going outside.
It didn't happen a lot back then.
It's like I'm finna ride my bike, and then you come back at like 8:00 at night, and they don't even ask where you was at.
I feel like kidnapping kids is kind of like a new thing.
It's not new, but I feel like maybe it's.
I feel like it got more popular.
Yeah, like people are doing it way more or something like that. I don't know.
It's kind of wild.
And it's crazy that they're doing it now because kids have phones with GPS on them. They're still doing it, but back then we didn't have nothing, and we was like,
what was like growing up there though? Like, what'd y'all do in the sun?
We played basketball. I mean, we did everything that everyone else does, pretty much. Play basketball, play football at the park. You go play video games, whatever.
You ever been like
house.
Dehydrated and passed out?
Not when I was a kid. That didn't happen until I didn't pass out, but I got dehydrated one time when I was when I was getting a tattoo.
Well, you got a tattoo.
Yeah, I was getting.
Y'all was outside getting a tattoo.
I wasn't outside, but it was just a hot summer day or whatever. I probably wasn't drinking enough water, and then when I was getting my tattoo, like I just started feeling sick all of a sudden, and then I was finna try to get up, and I got lightheaded. So my homie, he gave me some water. I was cool in like 30 seconds. Like it's crazy how much water can like bring you back to life.
I love water.
Yeah, I took a sip of water. I was good, but like we was outside literally hooping on Sundays. That was the hoop day, so you might go to the court at 4:00 in the afternoon. You might not go home till 9, so you're playing all day. But it was like, I mean, I wasn't hot. I didn't think about that at the time. So growing up, pretty much that's what I did. Like, just my cousin and my brother. My brother's older than me. Then my cousin was real close to us, like a brother. So we all was doing the same things.
What's it like having an older brother? Because I'm the oldest, so I always wondered what it would be like to have an older brother growing up.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. What do you think it was like for your little brother growing up?
It was pretty fun. I think it was pretty cool. We hung out. We played basketball and football together.
Were you the big brother that's like, come on, you can go with me? Or were you the one that was like, get out of here. You the little brother. I'm going with my friends.
No, I didn't have friends growing up.
Well, my older brother was the latter. Growing up, he was on some like, because he was 5 years older than me, so he was like, bro, you can't kick it with me.
Go away.
Yeah.
So that's what latter means?
The latter or the former, yeah. The first one or the second one.
I always think people like talking about a ladder.
A ladder.
So like when they say, so yeah, that's more about the ladder. I'm like, so they took the high road.
Later or ladder. That's how I remembered it. It was like, if they say the latter, that means the latest one they talk about, not the first one. I don't know.
Interesting.
That's how I remembered it.
So he told you like scram.
Yeah, I mean not really. Like I would kick it with them and stuff, and sometimes, but I was still the little brother, so there was times where it's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he was a good big brother. That's not to say he was a bad big brother. He just was older and was into shit probably that I shouldn't have been into. So he was like, get out of here. But he's the one that, he like taught me how to play ball and showed me how to dress back then and all that stuff. So he was a good big brother. I used to sleep on his floor. Even though I had my own room, like at nighttime, I would want to sleep on his floor because he had these tapes that he made with, whatever, like Master P and all this stuff. And I didn't have that. So I'm like, I'm just sleep in your room on the floor, listen to music. I ask probably a million questions before we go to sleep and shit like that. So it was cool.
That was a good big brother. He was lit.
Sega Genesis and fucking...
Man, I miss the Sega.
Shit like that. Hell yeah.
What did you used to watch as a kid? Like TV? What was you into?
I know I was into Power Rangers, but before that, it was like Ninja Turtles for sure.
Who's your favorite turtle?
I don't know if I had one. I like the Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
Really?
You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that one. The first one was I remember it, but for whatever reason, the second one
Stood out more.
and that's the one I like watched over and over. Um, and Problem Child. Remember the Problem Child movies?
Mm-mm.
That might have been a little before your time, but you should watch. I watched part two was my favorite one. So Google Problem Child and there's part one and part two. You maybe can watch both of them, but I like the second one. Then Steve Urkel,
Yeah.
Martin.
That's what you watched as a kid?
Sometimes.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Martin King started in what, like 93? I was born in 86, so 93, I was only 7 or 8, so,
Well, yeah, it's a good time to
yeah.
start watching that. I was watching Fresh Prince
Well, I
when was
really
young.
just watched it because my brother and my mom then was watching it. I didn't really know what was going on with
They
it.
don't make black sitcoms like that for you to just watch with your
Nah.
parents. That's kind of, it might have some vulgar jokes in it,
Yeah.
but they don't feel too bad about you
It's not
watching
the
it.
same no more. They got, it seems too fake. It's not, it's like a little more corny for some reason.
Yeah, like they're trying extra hard to be funny.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really do a lot of cartoons except for like, there was Looney Tunes, and then when I was a kid, there was also the show called Tiny Toons.
Oh, yeah, I used to love Tiny Toons, yeah.
I used to rock with Tiny Toons for sure.
So what got you a fan of the music? Was it watching a bunch of TV shows? Was it
Nah,
listening?
so my brother had a boombox with the double-sided tape.
Mm-hmm.
One side you can record on, whatever. So he used to, like I said, have these tapes where he would record on some radio station late at night. They would play songs that were uncut or like the dirty version, and it would be all stuff that was like Bay Area music, and it was just stuff that we didn't hear basically all the time. So he would make the tapes, and then whatever song I like, I would go to the like little record store or whatever and buy the tape, like the single that had the instrumental on the back. Just because I just was into beats back then. Like I wasn't making beats, but I was like, oh, I like this song because of the music. So I would buy the tape, and then I try to write little raps to the instrumental, and then try to record them on the boombox and stuff. So like that is what got me into music.
How
But
did you learn
the
how to make rappers?
Huh?
How did you learn how to make raps?
I knew how to rhyme. I didn't really know anything about like bars or structure or nothing. But I mean, it's easy to rhyme once you learn like roses are red, violets are blue. Like it's a rhyme. You know what I mean? All you do is rhyme.
That's true.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's good because you're rhyming. But I was like, I want to make a rap to this beat. You know
What was the
what I'm saying? I like
technical
this beat.
part? That you was
So
about to get into?
I was gonna say I didn't get into the technical part until like around 6th or 7th grade. We went to the library and there was a book. I don't know what book it was, but it had like synthesizers and keyboards and all this, probably mixing boards. I don't remember exactly what it had in it, but it was stuff with knobs and buttons. And I was like, damn, that looks like the command center from Power Rangers. You know what I mean? Like it just looked crazy. And I was like, damn, what is all that? So that's what got me into like the technical production and engineering side of it. Just seeing it was like, damn, I kind of want to mess with that stuff. You remember the store Radio Shack?
Yeah.
So I used to go to Radio Shack on the weekends and play with the keyboards, try to make little beats on the keyboards, and they had mixers in there for DJs, and I just would mess with stuff. Some of it wasn't even plugged in, but I just wanted to feel like I was turning knobs.
Dang, my Radio Shack ain't never had none of that.
They had, but it wasn't like stocked with stuff. It was like, they might have a little mix, like an actual DJ mixer, but they had one or two or something like that. Cheap keyboards. It wasn't like Guitar Center. It was, that's where like I bought some of my first little stuff was Radio Shack.
What'd you first buy? Your first piece of gear?
Beat Machine. Well, I bought it from a store called Music Go Round. It was called the Zoom RT 123. So it was basically like a drum machine that you can record like a 4 or 8 bar loop. And it so you could use all the drums that were on the pads, whatever, and then there were 2 other like banks. So you could add a couple more drums, and then the last bank had like bass sounds and like maybe a little like some bells. It just had, you could make a beat, but it wasn't like a beat we think of today.
Yeah.
So when I was in like 6th grade or 5th grade, my godmother gave me $300 for making an honor roll, which now I think about it, is like, you get 5th grader $300.
Dang, she lit.
For whatever reason, yeah, she gave me that for making honor roll, and then that's how I bought it. So it was like 300. It was like 300 or 250.
Dang, so you started back like middle school.
Yeah, that's when I got that piece of equipment, and then I bought a Casio keyboard, a little cheap one from some place, I don't know. and then you could kind of like. So then I went to Radio Shack and I bought this little mixer that had like 4 faders on it. That was it. Like I don't even know what that was for. Like who would be using that? But so I plugged in the beat machine to it. I know it has 4 things you can put into it because it has 4 faders. Beat machine, keyboard, microphone, probably, and then I would try to make raps, and then my cousins and my brothers, they would, make raps on the beats, and we recording it to the tape machine and stuff like that.
Wow.
Like a real tape, not this tape machine, like a little, like a Marantz tape deck from the 80s or something like that.
Dang, so you was really doing it in 6th grade.
That's what we was doing in 6th grade. Like, that's how I started out. Just because, like, I mean, I didn't really know nothing about it, but I was like, I just want to rap, you know what I mean? Like, we probably could have done it the easier way, honestly, maybe cheaper back then, but that's just how I did it. It was
How did you even learn how to figure out how to connect all that and get what you need? Like, how did you learn that?
Well, for me, it was about, like, because I always hooked up, like, the VCRs and the fucking, whatever we had, whatever electronics at the house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's labeled. When you had a VCR, the cord in the back, there's like red, white, and yellow or whatever. Like the red and white on the back of the VCR said audio. The yellow one said video. So I know that I'm plugged, and it said in, like it'll say audio in. So obviously that goes into there. So when I'm hooking up my other stuff, that's how I pretty much figured it out.
Dang, so you didn't read no books or nothing. You just tried.
I might have looked at the manual, of something, but it was that too, trial and error, because I'm like, okay, plug it in here. No, that don't work. Plug it in here. That don't work. But also, it kind of is labeled. It'll tell you, like, on the back of your beat machine, it'll say audio out, or it may say something out. So, plug a cord in there. If you need it to go out of your beat machine into your tape machine. So it's going to go out of the beat machine and into the one that says in on the tape machine. It just was not like common sense, basically, to me. My brother used to say that too. How you figure this out? I'm like, it has a label on the back that says in, and that one says out. So obviously, I don't want the tape machine to go to the beat machine.
Right.
So let's do it that way. You know what I mean?
You know why this is so fascinating?
Why?
How you breaking it down? There was no YouTube back then. There's no like Google.
Right.
Like,
you had to ask somebody or read the manual or just start fucking plugging
like
shit in.
you couldn't just like, how do you plug up?
Right.
Like
How to connect? Nah.
Dang, like it just made me remember how, like, yeah, that's how we used to figure things out. We would just get it, read a manual, figure it out, trial and error.
Plug stuff in.
Dang. YouTube.
And there's different chords too, so obviously this one don't go here because it's not even the same thing. Like, like,
you got any of those recordings y'all did as a kid?
I wish I did. We had a tape that it was like a compilation we was trying to do.
Yeah.
And I made the beats, and my brothers and cousins and some of my homies from school, like, we might have had like 7 or 8 songs on that tape.
Yeah, I was putting it work.
We moved from that house, and I don't know where that tape is at. There was only one copy.
Dang.
Like, people might have dubbed, like, if you came over, like, you might have been like, let me dub my song. Let's put my tape in the tape machine, and I'll just record my song and take it home. So there might be some stuff around where people may have one song or something on a tape, but the one that had everything, I don't know where it's at.
Dang, that's crazy. Like,
I don't know where that beat machine is either. I held on to that until I was probably like freshman in college. That's the last time I remember seeing it. I don't know what happened to it after that.
That's a really cool origin story, actually.
Yeah, it was cool. I was around a little bit of stuff too. Like, my mom was helping this jazz dude with like a benefit type of show or whatever. Mm-hmm. So when we went to his house for rehearsal, in one of his bedrooms, he had like a little setup in there with a nice little mix board and stuff. And he used to, like, while they was rehearsing, he used to let me pretend like I'm running the sound and stuff. So I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just moving faders and twisting knobs, and but it was like drawing me in more to that kind of stuff.
Anybody in your family, like when you was a kid, was they doing music, like your mom or dad? Or were they like musical people?
No. I mean, my mom used to make, she didn't really make music, but I still don't know how she did it, but she had a Janet Jackson record. Mm-hmm. Remember that song, That's the Way Love Goes?
Yeah, I love that song.
She loves it too. So what she did was she put a tape. Remember those stereos that the parents had where it's like I don't know if you know.
It was like a big tower?
It was like a tower, but on ours back in the day, it was a record player on the top, not CD player. So record player, then like the radio in the middle,
and then the tape at the
deck on
bottom. Yeah.
So she put the tape in, start the record, and then like once it got towards the end, I don't know how she knew where to move the needle, but she would move the needle as if like a DJ's like bringing it back, like that's the way love goes, and then like when the song's going off, it starts over, but it's on beat though. It's not like, you know what I mean? So I don't know how she did that.
Dang.
But we would be driving to school and she had this like 8-minute version of that song. Like that's the way love it. Like bro, that shit was.
Oh wait, so she recorded it from the vinyl to the tape.
To the tape.
Oh,
so she would put her tape in, press record, and then like, you know, let the thing run. And then when it got to where she knew she was gonna run it back, she would do whatever.
Dang.
Like I don't know if she lifted the needle. I don't know what she did.
Mama got tempo.
There was no scratching or nothing. It was back to the beginning on beat. I'm like,
hey.
So that's the only thing that I know. You know what I mean? Like nobody else really was doing anything.
Look, her potential and passed down to you. She could have been crazy on the
DJ on the
right.
ones and twos. Yeah.
She could have been crazy on the ones and twos.
Yeah.
So when you moved, you said you moved. Where you moved to?
When I was a sophomore in high school, we moved to North Carolina.
Dang, so you went all the way from
I went from big city Phoenix to like a small city outside of Charlotte.
What was that transition?
I thought it was dope, honestly. Well, I'm trying to think. I had never really been to like a small town in the country like that before, but it didn't seem like small to me really.
Yeah.
But it was like it was like one of those places where like people in high school probably was going to school together since like first, second grade.
Sounds like my city.
Yeah, it was cool though to me. It was smaller, so you know people knew each other, and then like I kind of like made friends easily or easier because I was playing basketball. So you know you get on the team. You know,
was he good?
I was pretty decent. I wasn't like the best, but I had potential for sure. But one thing about it is I didn't work back then, like after practice or you know summertime. Like I probably could have been good, like real good if I would have worked at it.
Damn, that's a real humble, honest answer. I feel like he was really good then.
You know how like there's like a person on the team who's like, you'll pick him up like, yeah, we want Ronnie, but it's not like I'm gonna give you 30 a night. You know what I'm saying?
You was solid.
I'll give you 12. You know what I'm saying? Other nights I might only have 4. Some nights I might have 20. You know what I'm saying? So I was a good player, played defense. You know, I'm tall, got long arms and stuff like that. So like I was good, but I wasn't like the star player. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool. Did you bring that setup that you made in Arizona to North Carolina?
Machine. I only had the beat machine. I left the rest of the stuff there.
So you had to start over.
Yeah, but I really didn't though. Like I didn't even from like high school to like maybe the end of my freshman year of college, I really didn't do a lot of music.
Really?
Yeah, no. I mean, I still like dabble. I made beats on that little beat machine, but honestly, back then I did think I was going to the league. I wanted to go to the league. Basically, when I the summer before freshman year, I really started like I was playing. Well, summer before freshman year, I was playing summer league with the JV team, not the freshman team. In Arizona, they have freshman sports. So I was playing JV, and I was like, okay, like they didn't recruit me, but they were like. They saw me in 8th grade and they was like, yeah, come play with us in the summertime. And, you know, we're going to go out of town and this and that. I'm like, hell yeah. Like, feels like they're recruiting me.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was doing that. Like, in the summertime, I was doing that. Like, I really was working, but I wasn't. That was just that one year. After I moved and stuff, like, I didn't really work out in the summertime like that. I wasn't trying to really get better. But I did think I was going to get better and get a scholarship at least and go, you know, do something. But I wasn't working at it.
So when did you get back into music?
So my freshman year of college, it just so happens that my roommate was into making beats too. And shout out to Gene, that's my boy. Like we like brothers. Like still to this day we talk all the time. But he put me on to Fruity Loops back then.
Oh wow! Before it was FL.
Yeah,
Fruity Loops.
He had it on his computer, and you know, so I used to like mess around with it. And I wasn't good, but that's the person that introduced me into like digital, because you know I was doing analog beat machines and.
Dang, you was doing that all the way up into college.
What you mean?
With the beat machine, you was making beats on that.
I really wasn't. Like I still had the beat machine, and I was messing around with it, but I didn't even really know nothing about digital at that time. Like because I was looking at pictures of Dr. Dre with the MPC and people with the keyboard. I'm thinking it's still all like that, which it really still was a lot of it, but it had made
transition.
it was in that mode. It was transitioning at that time because that's when Laffy Taffy and stuff had came out.
Yeah,
and that was all FL Studio. Like those are like stock FL sounds. Everything in those beats, those snaps and stuff, like that's a stock. Everything in those beats was like stock sounds. Even the well, I think they like me. Yeah, well, I think they like. I didn't make the beat, so I can't say, but I've heard those sounds in FL without even buying any like plugins or extra sounds and stuff.
Dang.
But maybe that was before people were doing all that, like buying. You know what I mean? Maybe they didn't have it where you can buy plugins for the MPs, like the MPC plugin on FL or something like that. Now they have it where you can buy, like those keyboards we have in the back. You can buy a plug-in so you can pull that up in FL if you want those sounds.
You don't even need that keyboard.
You don't even need it.
Does it sound as good still?
I don't know. I never really messed with that stuff before. But my roommate is the one who freshman year is how I got kind of back into it because he showed me how to make beats in FL and then he showed me how to record in this program called Cool Edit.
Cool Edit. Nah,
which
I never
is
heard
just
of
like
that
a
one.
Pro Tools type of I don't know where it would be on the tier, but it's not Pro Tools for sure. But it's a lot of people use it though still, like that in Logic, but he showed me how to record on there and then I was like, oh dang, like I gotta get back into it. So I made a couple songs with him and then when I went back, I dropped out after freshman year and I went back to North Carolina for a little bit and then me and my brother and he had like I'll say we had a group of friends, but he introduced me to most of them, my brother, and then we tried to do like a little mixtape with the homies back then.
You was recording them?
Yeah, I was recording them. I was making the beats and recording them, and I was doing some of the rapping. I was doing everything back then.
Dang.
And then and then after that, I moved back to Phoenix, and then back by that time, my homie Deuce, shout out to Deuce. Him and his pops, Foke, they had already built the studio. Remember when we shot the video?
Yeah.
So they had built that. It wasn't like it is now, but they had built that, and they had like Pro Tools and MPCs. Like they had like some stuff in there.
Oh wow.
And so I started back making beats on analog, kind of MPCs and keyboards, but then we started using Pro Tools and recording and stuff back then. Like that was like 2007 or 8 maybe. And so we didn't know what we was doing still. It didn't sound good. I still got some of those sessions too. Some of those.
That's hard.
2008.
That's cool when you can keep your history.
Yeah. So yeah, and and then that brought me from then to now. It's been steady, pretty much, like as far as recording and what I mean.
So what actually inspired you to just want to record way back as a kid?
I don't know what it was exact, but I just always I was inspired a lot by like Puff Daddy and them back then, like with like Can't Nobody Take My Pride, like that was one of my favorites. Then the Master P, I was into beats, so whoever's song like sounded good because of the beat, like so that's why that's one of my favorite songs still to this day. The Puff Daddy and Mace, Can't Hold Me Down.
Yeah, I
love that beat. And then there was like Master P and No Limit. They had Beats by the Pound, the production group.
They was killing them.
Like. It was in-house, they didn't get beats from other people, so it was like they had a sound, what I mean? Then Jermaine Dupri with the way his beats was back then, like Timbaland for sure, like when Missy came out with I Can't Stand the Rain. Yeah. It was the beats that made me want to rap, basically. It was like, damn, these beats is tight, like, and then I just felt like I could rap on that or whatever. So, yeah, from getting those instrumental tapes and trying to make my own little song to those, you know what I'm saying? It was the beats that brought me into it. Made me want to rap type shit.
That's actually cool. That's different.
Yeah.
When you moved back, you was doing the music consistently now. What inspired you to be like, okay, I'm about to really take this seriously and just never stop?
Well, back then we thought we was the shit. Like we was like we finna get a deal and blah blah blah. Like we hard. Like we was hard though. But
what was our group called?
The Doughboys.
The Doughboys.
Yep. It was me back then. Well, see, in North Carolina, my nickname is Slim. People call me Slim. I'm tall and skinny, and also I didn't like the name Ronnie when I was growing up. So I told people not to call me that, and they just called me by my other name, Slim. So when we had the group, the Doughboys, that's what I went by, Slim. And then Deuce has always been Deuce, and then Royal's real name is Roy. You know what I mean? He go by Royal.
Oh, wow, I never knew this.
So yeah, so it was Slim, Deuce, and Royal. It was the Doughboys, and then so Deuce makes beats also. You know what I mean? I make beats, so we was collabing on beats, or he had a beat, or I had a beat, or whatever, and then we would just sit down and write the song, record the song, and then we had like a little mixtape and stuff. Like this was the MySpace days too, when you could put the song on MySpace and then you could copy the code from your player and put it on people's walls and stuff to try to so every time they go to their page or somebody goes to their homepage, like your song will come on or something.
Wow.
Like, we was trying to finesse the system like that, but so the Doughboys was the name of the group, and we actually was good. Like I said, there's a lot, like they say, there's a lot of people that's good that don't have no like hustle behind it or money behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was good.
Dang. So the Doughboys, and that was in North Carolina.
That was in Phoenix.
Oh, that was in Phoenix.
Phoenix.
That was when you went back to Phoenix. Right, right. What made y'all feel like y'all was good though?
Well, our beats was different, cause I had a lot of like down south influence in me, and Deuce is real West Coast. He does a lot of like keys and stuff, but then we merged it, so it was like we just sounded different. You know what I'm saying? And then it was three of us also, so now the beat sounded different, and then there was three different flows or raps or styles, you know what I'm saying, on every song. And then I don't know, like we did a little bit, we did some shows here and there, and people would tell like, man, y'all shit was hard, y'all the hardest ones, and this and that. It was like yeah. So we tried to like, we did a couple beat battles and some like show contests and stuff, but we never really like met anybody that would, like a manager or anybody from any labels.
I would say, is Phoenix music scene even like
it's
popping
not,
like that?
But what the crazy thing is, the other thing why we thought we was gonna get a deal was because at the time, Ludacris had came and snatched up an artist from Phoenix named Willie North Pole.
I never heard of this guy.
So yeah, so Willie North Pole, and that was around that time, 08, 09 or something like that. And so after he got signed, 50 had came and snatched up this dude named Hot Rod. And then after he got signed, The Game came and snatched up a dude named Juice.
There's some fire rap names I never heard of.
So yeah, so then they was all like, and then there was this group called the Man Up Squad, and all three of them were a part of it. And there was some other like bigger artists in Phoenix who like weren't signed, but like, they had money and the flash, and like it was like a clique. And if you were affiliated with them, then it's like that's like a cosign type thing.
Dang, so it was something going on.
It was something going on, but it never like blew like everybody thought it would. And because these people were now getting deals and stuff, we was like, man, it's like, we gotta be one of the ones coming, because like, they got it and we nice. And like at the time it wasn't like groups like that.
So y'all stood out. That's why.
Yeah. So now that it's a couple, like the groups thing kind of comes in waves. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and then there was some people that we knew that was like doing some stuff with was it Mike Jones or Chameleonaire or something? Like I don't know what they was doing, but we knew them too. So we was like, man, we have to.
Y'all was close somewhere. Yeah.
But it just like all the people that I named, like we one of us or some of us or all of us have like done stuff with them.
Oh wow!
Like throughout the years, you know what I'm saying? It never really amounted to anything really, but we might have did a show with this person or did a song with this person or did a beat for that person.
What was your favorite song that the Doughboys made?
I don't know. It was a lot of songs, honestly. Like we did a lot of stuff. I can't really. Well, there's this one song called "Key to the City," and it reminds you of the beat is kind of like dance, but like Akon type of dance, like not EDM, a little pop with a little hip hop. Like, remember that song with Akon and no, I don't want to say that, but it was kind of like the one with Akon and Eminem.
I was thinking that.
It's that tempo,
yeah,
but it didn't sound like that. But that was a dope one because it was like it wasn't trappy and like hood stuff. It was kind of pop, but it was still had that Timbaland, Nelly Furtado, Akon. Like it had that kind of bop to it.
What was y'all favorite show that y'all did that you remember the most?
It was probably like later on because our first show was the best one because for whatever reason it was like people was like you could tell the crowd was like fucking with us.
Oh, it was packed.
I don't even remember if it was packed or not. It was a small
energy.
venue, but it was good energy. The people came to the front and like we was kind of like dressed not the same, but like white tees and black tees. Like we might have had like a hat that we got embroidered with Doughboys or something. Like we tried to make it look good. You know what I'm saying? The first show was the best one, and then one time it wasn't our show, but we did a show with one of the homies, and he's opening for Lil Wayne.
Oh wow!
So we, that was cool.
See, I was on a show with Lil Wayne.
Technically, if you want to say that, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, not technically. It sounds like it.
we were part of a show that opened up for Lil Wayne.
That's hard. Yeah. That's amazing.
But that was not that long ago either. That probably was like 2015.
What? That's dead. That's not too far away. What the heck?
That was cool.
So the Doughboys was going on for a minute.
Well, then we wasn't really the Doughboys. The Doughboys have been over, but we all still do what we do.
Yeah.
And we was all on the Homies project well, me and Royal was rapping on it, and Deuce made the beat.
Dang.
So because Deuce don't rap no more. He might do some melodic hook or something like that, but he's not really focused on rapping. He did the beat. And then me and Royal rapped on it, and the other homie, it was his song. He rapped on it too. So,
dang, do y'all got footage from the Wayne show or pictures?
I can ask him. I can go because the homie might have. I do. I'll have to find it. It's probably on Instagram because there's a picture with all of us like kind of like in the front of the stage. People rapping, got your arm on your boy while he. So there's a picture like that around. I have to find it.
That's freaking hard. That's legendary to open up for Lil Wayne.
That was a cool moment.
Dang. Did y'all meet Wayne?
Nah, because after we went off, Chanel West Coast?
Yeah,
she came on. And then I think Wayne came on like after her. So
dang,
it was like
that was a stacked show.
It was a couple of like people. It might have even been like another local person after us. I can't remember, but I know after it was like a couple of people before Wayne went on.
That's fire.
That was dope just to see Wayne in concert. But I wish I'm a Wayne fan from The Block Is Hot.
Yeah.
So I go way back. So I be wanting to hear like
that Wayne,
some of that shit or some Carter One shit or some. But his catalog is too long.
It was way too freaking.
So he
long.
Can't he obviously can't do certain stuff because it's gonna take the whole show.
I think Wayne got one of the biggest catalogs.
It's too long, and especially if you incorporate his mixtape stuff.
Dang! So you freaking opened up for Lil Wayne, bro. Why didn't you never tell me none of this?
I never look at it as like a big thing because I don't know. Like it'd be different for me. Like if we was like on tour with him, opening for him, like we're his opening act. But that's how I looked at Chanel West Coast. Like she's the opening act. We're a opening act. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know. That's just how I just look at it. Like we was one of the opening acts, but we weren't on the Wayne tour. You know what I'm saying?
F that. I'm gonna tell people. Yeah, I got homie that tour with Lil Wayne.
He toured Phoenix.
That's a big accomplishment, man. That's why I wanted to do stuff like this, because to hear about people's stories, because people sometimes downplay their stories. I don't want you to downplay that. Like that's a key moment. That's
one of our signature things too with me and Deuce and Royal is back then we always would say like it's nothing major, like don't get a big head. You know what I'm saying? Don't. Sometimes people just be hyping themselves up too much, and we be like, hey, calm down, man. Just act like you've been here before is a phrase we always say to each other. Like, hey, man, act like you've been here before. I'm trying to think, what movie is that from? I don't know, but it's a movie that it was like, man, act like you've been here before, man. Like, chill. Even if it's a big deal, you know what I mean? Like, you could be excited about it and happy about it, but don't fan out.
That's some good lessons there. So, after you opened up for Lil Wayne, you went on to still do music, or more like was this like did that put a fire under y'all to be like, okay, like
not
we need
that
to keep
specifically,
going?
but working with the homie who was working with, because he had the bread to do what we couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? And he fucked with us because he, you know what I mean, like he knew about the old stuff. You know what I mean? He knew about us or whatever. So, but and he was the older homie. He was the OG, and he was, you know what I mean. So he kept us around, you know, getting beats from us, buying beats, and you know what I'm saying. Rothstein, let me get a hook, or you know, Mac put a verse on it. Royal Mac put a verse on here. So you know, he kept us doing stuff with him, and so that's how we even was like kind of me personally like just staying in it. Because if it wasn't for him, I probably would have just been just making beats at the crib probably. Like, you know, we helped out with some. I did a little bit of recording at the time. Back then, Deuce, since he had the studio, was doing most of the recording. I might when I came to his place, I would be trying to make some beats or whatever, or lay a verse, or if somebody's in there that, you know, we working on something, okay, I'll record you. But I wasn't the engineer. Deuce was mainly the engineer back then.
What did family think about you doing music and everything? Were they
I
supportive?
mean, they felt like I was talented, but I know for a fact everybody's like, you know, make sure you got a job though, because you know this ain't making you money right now, which is cool, which I understand. But see the thing about it is like Deuce had support in a different way because his dad was into music also, but also like built him a studio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's where we all went. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't even really probably been able to do much. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
So my family supported me, but it was different. It was in
they didn't build a whole studio for you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, which, you know, they couldn't, you know what I mean? Like, we couldn't, but I sometimes I wish that I would have been pushed to do more in music back then. Because, you know, it probably was just like, seemed like a pipe dream, which I'm sure it does. Like, I want to be a rapper. Like, okay, well, yeah, make sure you get a degree and get a job so you can make some money until that happens. You know what I mean? That's not bad advice. That's what you should do. You know what I mean? But I also wish that somebody or whatever would have been like, I don't know, you know, man, you better go to the studio or this and that. You better do this.
Just kind of putting fire under you.
Yeah, like making me feel like I can make it or something, basically.
So did the lack of having that give you more strength in terms like, did you give it to yourself or
not necessarily? I mean, the fact that nothing was going on probably discouraged me more than anything. So when I came back to Phoenix, it was 06, 07 maybe. I ended up leaving again in like, no wait. Yeah, it was like 06 when I came back. I ended up leaving in, probably 2008 or 9. Like I probably was only home for like 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And my mom and my older brother were in Little Rock. My mom's in like education, as you know. So she was like working with this charter school. And we were still doing music, but like every job I had, I was getting fired from because I'd probably be late or like I didn't want to work. Like I'm not interested in this. You know what I mean? I want to make money, of course. I'm trying to live, but so when I left, I was living at my sister's house, sleeping on her couch. You know what I mean? Like I still was probably going to work if I had a job, but I never was like a bum. So if I didn't have a job,
yeah, right.
If I didn't have a job, if I get fired, I'll go get another one. You know what I mean? I wasn't just gonna sit around. But you know, I was like, man, like jobs are just whack. Like jobs that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, my mom was like, yeah, just come out here with us. Like, you know, I'll help you. I'll get you a job at the school and you can work in the music department. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? At least I'll be still in music somewhat. You know what I'm saying? And so when I went to the school, they had a music class and there was a music teacher. And then she just incorporated what I did into that. So, like, one time in summer school, like I had taught the kids how to write. This is like 4th, 5th, 6th grade, you know, not kindergartners or whatever, maybe like 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
So these kids, I taught them how to like write in bars, like, you know, how you measure it, I guess, if you want to, like based on the beat or whatever. I'm like, this is how you write it. It's based on your rhyme and blah, blah, blah. And so because I was always making beats on my laptop, and let me do this and let me do that. I'm like, all right, let's turn it into an academic project. You write it, I'll record it, and the guy who was working the music department, who I was partnered with, he also did videography, and he never did a music video, but he was like, all right, let's do it with the kids. We'll record a song and do a video, but you got to write your own verse. So I taught them, you know, now you're practicing rhyming and making sense, and like what I tricked them into doing was writing a paper, but not really educational paper, but you're writing because you want to rap, but you got to write it, and then we're going to record it. And then the videography guy, he made them write the script for the video.
Wow. And this is all at your mom's charter school.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
So we basically turned it into like, it was fun, but then, we made it somewhat educational music wise, and like, we tried to incorporate some type of like English and language, and it's math because you got to count the bars and when's the hook coming in and all that kind of stuff.
How long did you do that?
It was so I worked at that school for like 2 or 3 years.
Wow, so you impacted a lot of kids.
Yeah, it was dope. Like a lot of those kids are grown now, which is crazy, bro. Like, cause
you keep in contact with anyone?
17, 18-year-olds. One of them, well, not really, but kind of. Like, there's one who is a rapper now, and I forget his name, but he's like 18 or 19, and he's rapping now and stuff. And I reached out to him. We talked, but we didn't really talk. You know what I mean? We didn't catch up or nothing. Because I told him I was an engineer. I'm like, yeah, come up to the studio, man. I should give you a tour around. It'd be nice to, see you again. But, yeah, that was like 3 years. And then I bounced around after that. In between, I went to school for engineering in 2018.
What school did you go
Or
to?
2017. It's called the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Science, or they call it CRAS, CRAS.
Sounds like a hard school.
It wasn't that hard. It's hard, but it's not hard. It'd be like if you went to school for like film. It's like, yeah, it's hard, but I love it, and it's not that hard because I get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So I guess it's just the title, the Conservatory of Arts and Science.
The Conservatory of Recording Arts and Science.
Sounds like the Hogwarts of witchcraft and wizardry.
It's a certification program, so it's not a degree program, so you don't have to do like math and English and all that.
Oh wow!
So it's cool. I wanted a degree, but I also was like, it's a pretty good school.
You know what I mean? Something's better than nothing.
But it's a dope school. Like just the way they start out, like it's only 10 months, first of all, so they have to cram a lot in that time. So day one, you're like hands on. Everything is hands on, except for like like they give you a little bit of like business law or music business law, just to teach you a little bit of this and that. But for the most part, everything is hands on. So like, and they give you, it's they suck you in with the laptop package. You know what I mean? They give you a MacBook, they give you an interface, headphones, your cables you need. You get a whole setup. So that
just for going to school.
So that's on orientation. You get your setup, and then when you go to class the first day, you have to bring your laptop with you. They give you a backpack too, so you can carry everything. So when you go to class, you have everything with you, and then so they may tell you, okay, get out your laptop, your blah blah blah, get out this, and you hook it up, and then we know we're, testing levels and routing for how you plug this in and that. So
from this is day all for one, engineering.
Yeah, this is all for engineering, but it's not just music. They have music. Well, they teach you everything, but within the program is music, film, for like Foley and ADR and stuff like that.
Wow.
I have a video I'll show you where I was doing some Foley.
Really?
In class, and my homie was recording it for me. So yeah, Foley, video game audio, live sound, and like sound design for like theater.
What made you go to school?
Because I knew that any studio wouldn't hire. Well, most studios won't hire you unless you have like some type of education. Well, I've been wanting to go there anyway, but I was like, I gotta like get out of Phoenix and go where some stuff is happening. L.A., New York, Atlanta.
So you was trying to get a job at a music studio.
Yeah. So basically, I got tired of working call center jobs and just jobs that. Yeah. I know I'm only gonna last 8 months, bro. I'm gonna get fired because I'm gonna start calling out or just showing up late or not caring, whatever.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just keep living like this. So I was like, I gotta figure out a way to make music my job. So the only way to do that is probably engineering. Like, no one's gonna hire you to come make beats at the studio. So probably engineering. You know what I mean? So, which I was like already doing, kind of, with the homies anyway. So for me, once I went to school, everything just clicked because I already been doing this, but now they're showing me the right way to do stuff and, whatever. So I equate it to like an AM1 ball player going to Duke and playing with Coach K and him showing you how to play fundamental basketball. And it's like, now I got this and this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
best of both worlds.
Yeah. Like they teach you the fundamentals of everything that you need to. So that's what my goal is. Like, I need to find a way to make music my job. So probably have to go to school. I'll go to school and then, intern somewhere or whatever. So part of that, luckily, that school has an intern, like you can't graduate or be done until you finish your internship.
Oh wow.
So the internship is part of the program, but it's at the end after you've done all your class and all that. Then they, prep you for interviews and resume.
What was your first internship?
My first internship was at Astro.
Oh, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's where is the school in Atlanta?
No, the school's in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But when at the end, they tell you to like make a list of like the top. Well, they tell you figure out where you want to go.
Yeah.
Make a list of the studios there that you want to intern at, and we'll make the calls. We'll try to get you in.
Dang, this school does a lot for you.
Yeah, they do. And so like
I should went to this school.
I wanted to go to KY, the engineer KY.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to his place called Base.
Okay.
But I don't know if they even do it or have an internship program there. I don't know. And then after that, my second choice was I wanted to go to Mean Streets, I think.
Yeah, Mean Street.
Because I felt like it was a smaller environment. Like I felt like I was going to be more nurtured there for whatever reason. Like it was not as like Patchwork was last on my list because I thought it was more corporate. I was like
Patchwork was last on your list.
It made me nervous because I'm like, it's Patchwork. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like if I was going to like a big college and there's like 100 students in the classroom. It's like I'm not gonna get maybe I'm not gonna get the one-on-one attention that I might need. So I wanted to go to a smaller studio. You know what I'm saying? Or street execs. Like I thought I wanted to go there.
Yeah.
So. Astro actually did not turn me down for an internship after I did the interview. Then they called me back and asked me if I wanted a job. I'm like, you guys turned me down for an internship, but now you want to ask me if I want a job? And I was like, I mean, I do. So I was like, hell yeah. And it was like, well, we're going to have you come up here and do a test session on this day. And it was like 6 hours or whatever. And it didn't go that well.
What happened?
Just because there was like some stuff going on with like the computer. It was like troubleshooting stuff that I wasn't as quick with, or it's my first time ever in a studio, like for real working. You know what I mean? So the artist is asking for this, and I'm trying to give it to him. Like it sounds off in the headphones or this, and I'm like, damn.
The test session was with an actual artist.
Oh yeah, it was a writer session, but they had like, Lance Strip Chip.
I've heard the name.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He was one of the artists came through. OMBPs, he came through.
Wow.
So they put me in the fire. You know what I'm saying? Like they put me in there, and like it didn't go as good as I wanted. It wasn't terrible. You know what I mean? Like everything that needed to get done got done. Mm-hmm. But a couple times I had to go out and ask engineer, hey man, like can you help me with this? Like which is embarrassing because I'm like, damn, like I should be able to do this. You know what I mean? And that wasn't even big stuff. It was small, like
that's your first time.
Small stuff. Yeah,
right
exactly.
out of college, literally.
But it didn't go well. So they didn't give me the job, basically.
Dang.
You know what I mean? So, and not only that, they never spoke to me again. Like what happened was the guy who brought me in, I ain't gonna say his name. Like he was like after the session, he was like, how do you think it went? I was like, all things considered, I think I did all right. He was like, it didn't go that good. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, And he was like, so just practice, blah blah blah, and then call me back in a couple months and we'll bring you in for another one. Bro, he never replied to me ever again.
He sounds like an a-hole.
Like even maybe I might have hit him up a couple years ago just to ask him a question or something. Like he won't hit me up no more. Nobody there will. And so it's cool, you know what I mean? And then after that, Astro, they got me an internship at Astro, and I got fired on my first day.
Wait, so what was the studio before Astro? I thought that was what you was talking about.
No, Mean Street. I'm talking about the test session.
Oh, you actually got in at Mean Street.
I mean, they were gonna hire me to be an engineer. They denied me.
Oh, that's what. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they denied me. They turned me down for an internship. Yeah. And then they called me back and was like, "Hey, how would you feel about a job?" And I'm like I said, I'm tripping because I'm like, you didn't want to hire me as an intern, and now you're offering me a job. And so then I went into the test session.
So that sounds like they just needed an engineer and they didn't know anybody. I don't know, because that's weird. That sounds weird.
The dude who was giving me the test session could have did it because he was an engineer. He's the one that he showed me stuff that I still use today. You know what I mean? But it's like So basically, I'm saying that to say he could have done the session. You know what I mean?
Dang, that's weird.
But hey,
I mean, it's called Mean Streets. Maybe that's why they so mean.
hey, you know what I mean? So after that, I never heard of them again, or I never heard from them again.
So the school got you Astro?
And then the school got me Astro. And yeah, I got fired on my first day because so in school they teach you about etiquette and like, you know, not putting people on camera and stuff.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, I understood that, you know what I'm saying? But what I did, it didn't click. So I was on my break and I was standing outside and, you know, Astro was right next to Stankonia.
Yeah.
And Rick Ross was coming out of Stankonia. And it's my first time in the A. I'm like, oh, damn, that's Rick Ross right there. So I was on my Snapchat. I was like, damn, Rick Ross. And like, I didn't show where he was at, but I had him on camera. And so, like, I guess the manager or somebody saw it. And then they called me. It's like, it was really like on Friday when Smokey was like, supervisor called me at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Talking about they got me on tape. Like, she was like, yeah, we can't have that. She sent me the video. She was like, you can't be doing that. So, you know, we're going to have to terminate you. I was like, shit. And that really like messed me up because I had been out here like a month and a half, 2 months already. And I only brought enough money to survive for 3 months. For whatever reason, I thought after 3 months I was going to get hired on somewhere. I thought an internship was going to be short. So I was like, hopefully after these few months, you know what I'm saying, I'll have a job. So I'm a month and a half in and I just got fired from the second place.
Dang.
So I'm like, damn, like I'm going to run out of money. You know what I mean?
What made you pick Atlanta from Phoenix? Because like you're right next to LA.
Yeah.
Like,
so I didn't want, well, for one, like my homie Deuce was like, bro, you can intern over here and I just put down whatever hours you need, this and that. But I felt like I wasn't going to get what I needed, like the experience.
Yeah.
Like, so I could have went to LA possibly, but I felt like LA was too close to home. Mm-hmm. So if something bad happened, I can, so I got to go home now. You know what I mean? Whereas if me and my mom drove from Phoenix to Atlanta.
Wow.
With my shit in the trunk, you know what I mean? And then she flew back. So it's like I wanted to throw myself into it. I can't go somewhere close. It's going to be like a crutch being in LA. I can always go home. Whereas out here, it's like, you got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? If you get, or whatever, you know, you just got to figure it out.
That's brave.
So, but I just knew it because otherwise it wasn't going to amount to nothing. It was going to be like, I was going to go there. The first bad thing that happened, I probably was going to run home. There's nothing for me at home music wise. And then back to working regular jobs and you know what I mean? And now I owe student debt. And you know, it's like, I had to weigh that option. Like, it's probably better for me. Plus Atlanta's where it's at.
But you got to have like a really strong sense of self, like you know thyself really well say like
school validated me.
School validated
because going to school and when I was in class and everything was making sense, bro. I graduated school with a 3.97.
Nice.
And that's only because I missed like attendance counts towards your GPA. I missed the day to go to my brother's wedding. So I already told him, I was like, bro, if you was anybody else, I would have said, fuck your wedding. Like, I'm not messing up my GPA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been a 4.0 student ever in life. So the fact that I was getting it, I was like, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, it all makes sense. So you know what I mean? So if I go to Atlanta, I'll probably, you know, there might be a learning curve. I need to, you know, because Atlanta will teach you stuff about like being quick on, you know, with Pro Tools and because artists are punching in and they want stuff fast. That's the stuff you got to learn with experience. But I was like, I know what I know. I know about etiquette and, you know, and luckily I ended up at Patchwork.
But what gave you the mindset to say, I'm gonna throw myself? You don't meet a lot of people that's like, I'm willing to throw myself in the fire.
I just feel like I had to, you know what I'm saying? Because for one, where else am I gonna go? LA, New York is too expensive to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't gonna make it in New York. You know what I mean? Like, I just knew I wasn't gonna be able to make it financially in New York. That would have been dope to go, you know what I mean? But I felt like, well, what else am I gonna do? You know what I mean? It has to be Atlanta. LA is too close to home. It would have been dope too, you know. LA, I'm sure is dope, but I just felt like it would have been it's too close to home. Like, you don't want that crutch, you know what I'm saying? To be able to just say I'm go home. Like,
how did you learn that though?
Well, my mom always like is there for me, which is not a bad thing, but at a certain age or time, like, it's like, no matter, like, you be in a bad situation and your mom's there for you, and me, I'll have to tell her, Like, nah, I'm good. Even if I'm not. Because I know you're going to, like, I know you're going to be there for me. So, if you're always there for me when I'm fucked up, if, like, it turns into a mind thing where you don't try as hard. Because you know what I'm saying? You know, I ain't worried about this. My mama gone. So, but that was like before I even was doing, well, like before I went to school for engineering, I was feeling that. So I just didn't want a crutch, basically. Because, you know what I mean? Like, where you going to be in life? You know what I mean? Like, if you always are like, I don't have to do this because such and such is going to happen or have my back, it's like, how are you going to ever do something? You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to be in life?
Dang.
If you just always have a crutch like to fall back on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like crutches are temporary. You know what I mean? Like when you break your leg, you don't have crutches forever.
Yeah.
You have crutches until you're back on your feet, and then you get rid of the crutches. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I just didn't want to make it easy on myself that way. Like, I was, and plus, like I said, this is Atlanta. Like, this is where everybody is at. You know what I'm saying? People go to LA too, but like people move to Atlanta. Like in these areas, like, you know, like Boosie moved to Atlanta. Rick Ross lives in Atlanta. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
everybody lives in Atlanta.
You know what I mean? Like they come from wherever and move here, unless you're already a West Coast artist or something, or somewhere out there, you're gonna move to Cali or whatever. Or unless you're an actor, you're gonna move to Hollywood. But
yeah,
you know, this is Atlanta where it's at.
I give you your props, bro. Like that takes a real strong like mental to be like to know to say that to like I don't want no crutches and to do that. So I give you your props for that. Like that's hard.
I guess it is, but it's also I think it's more of like it's kind of hard to explain. It's just more so like you get older, you know, you're a man.
I don't know. We see a lot of men that you know they love their crutches. They ain't never letting go.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
but
saying.
But they know also. I feel like they know too. Like I'm not the only one who knows what a crutch is. You know what I mean? Like some men, like those men, they probably know like this is a crutch, but it's like maybe they don't have the get up and go to. Maybe they don't even know what they want to do in life. So it's like I mean, all I have is this crutch. I don't have nothing else. I knew what I wanted to do, so I'm like, at least I know that. You know what I'm saying? Let me go try. Let me go out there and try.
I never thought about like that concept of having crutches because growing up it was kind of like I had support, but you know, I was a very much a figure it out kind of environment that I was in. Like my mom, she was always like super supportive, but she tells me all the time like when I was like 15 or something, like in high school, maybe 14, she just realized like I wouldn't let her do anything for me. And she was like, she really tells me all the time, like, you stop letting me do stuff for you. Cause I'd be like, Mom, you don't do nothing for me. I'd be like, well, you don't support me like that. Not in a bad way. I'd be like, she'd be like, I'd be like, Mom, when's the last day? And she was like, because you don't let me do nothing for you, Keyshawn. You stopped when you was like 15.
My mom still does stuff to me, for me to this
like she'll
day.
do stuff, little stuff.
It's big stuff that you know what I mean? Sometimes I just wish, like, I don't wish, but I'll be thinking like, damn, like, I need to pay her back one day. I know she ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
But you know, as a son, you know, like your mom, how it is. It's like, man, one day I just want to be able to pay her back, whether it's money or buy her a house or whatever the case. I want to be able to pay her back.
Yeah.
And then pay it forward from then on. So, you know what I mean? Like,
that's definitely how I feel.
You know, I'm sure everybody wants to do that for their mom. You know what I mean? But the fact that she's so like, I mean, I guess it's a parent thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's your kid. Like, you don't even think twice about that type of stuff.
I mean, I know your mom's a good mom because she's helping me get back in school. So
you know what I mean?
Your mom, like, that's auntie. Like,
yeah, she dope for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So, and you know, she always like when I went to that school and worked for her, like she created a job for me to be able to do it. Like she didn't have to do that.
That's a real one,
right?
That's a real one. Yeah. So. Shout out to the moms out there. Even shout out
to
my mom because I should have let her support me more because I put myself through a lot of fires. So I like how you broke this all down because I was like, dang, I never was able to like put a word or put a concept to what I was doing because it was just I saw my mom doing so much that I was like, I'm just gonna go and do my own thing.
Yeah.
But that was like I said, I was young when I did that. To this day, like. I don't even think about it, and she says that a lot. So hearing that from this side, from you, from my brother, it made me realize, like, dang, I see why we even like click a lot, because we got our mindsets aligned. I think to where it's like, yo, we just got to get it somehow.
Right, you got to.
And so you got it. You got fired. Right. You got fired. You got kicked out of Mean Street. You had an experience when you got here.
Yeah.
How did you figure out, like, now you're really in the fire? You getting what you asked for. You really in the fire.
Right.
What'd you do? Like, what'd you do? Because you was burning.
I mean,
because you said you only had a month.
The universe brought me to Patchwork. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't know. Like, after I got fired from there, I was really like down. Like, bro, I don't know what I'm gonna do now, bro. Like, I just started. It was a good day. Like, it was a good day at work. I'm doing stuff. Like, I'm like, okay, bet this is gonna be nice. Got fired, and then I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do now? Then they reached out to Patchwork, and I also did too, and then sent my resume. And I came up here and I met back then Luther was the head of the intern program. Yeah. And he interviewed me, and it was so chill. At the end, it was basic. I mean, it was real basic. He looked at my resume, they showed me around, and he was like, all right, cool. So, 2 days out of the week, which 2 days you want? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, that's it? Just to get into Patchwork?
Luther.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's a good thing because it's like, it gives people a chance. Like, I'm not going to say they give anybody a chance, but if you have the right qualifications, they'll give anybody a chance, which is dope. And so, I picked my days, and then I started coming in. Like my first couple of days, you remember James? Remember James used to work here with the dreads? Nah. Well, anyway, he was like him and Pink were training me. Wow. When I first got here or whatever, and it's like I realized how easy of a job that interning was. As far I mean, you got to read the handbook and know your rules and stuff, but I mean, empty the trash. It's not a hard thing. So
it's hard to some people.
I just felt like, bro, I can, my biggest concern was like missing a day or not. Like, I felt like I could do the job. Yeah. But if my car breaks down or this and that, like, I didn't know how strict it was going to be as far as, certain stuff. So my whole time interning, I never missed a day and I never was late. I mean, but it's only 2 days a week. I tell people all the time, like, people quit and people huffing and puffing about the internship program. And I'm like, bro, this is easy, like, you don't have to do much, but come when they call you. Make sure you pay attention to details so you can get whatever they're asking. Well, stuff like that. And clean up afterwards, bro. Like, it's not that hard. And be on time.
But was he getting paid?
You don't get paid for the internship, but you're only here twice a week. You have time to go get a job if you want to. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, damn, I don't have to come up here and use my gas every day. And stuff like that. But I would come up here, like, whenever I would see, like, oh, Nipsey Hussle's on the schedule today. I called Luke. Hey, Luke, is it cool if I come sit in with you? Yeah, bro, that's cool. I'm an intern, but I'm looking at the schedule. Like, I don't know if interns do that on their off days, but I was like, bro, Nipsey Hussle's there. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? And it was like that with a couple things, like with the Boosie and Zaytoven release party. Yeah. Like, hey, Vern, you need help setting that up? I'm in there. Casanova listening party. Hey, you need help?
And you was in there?
I'm in there.
I was in there too.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Dang. Like, how come you was there to a lot of stuff? I feel like I don't remember
because I was, you. Where we keep the computer in 9000 off to the side? Yeah. That's where I was at. I wasn't in the way. You know what I mean? I'm standing over here, and I'm keeping my eye on whoever the engineer in the room is. If I see him looking around for stuff, I'm like, yo, you need something? Like, but I'm really not working. I just came for the party, but also to help set up. But I just want to be here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm sitting in on everything that I could sit in on, and
that sounds like you working though. Like, you keeping contact with the engineer. Like,
you paying attention to what he's doing, and like the artist wants to grab the knob and turn it all the way up, and you look at the engineer how he handles them. Like, he'll tell them like, we can't turn up that loud because it'll clip the amps. He's not just saying, bro, you can't turn that down. Like, you're learning how to, because some of these artists have egos or whatever the case, you're just learning a little more people skills on how to talk to them or whatever. So I'm in there learning, but I ultimately, you know what I mean, I'm in here because I saw what was on the schedule and I just wanted to be a part of it. And plus, you know, I'm learning how to hook up, how to set up for a listening party, you know, or something like that. So that type of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, by the grace of God and the universe, I ended up at Patchwork. And so that was the best thing that could have happened.
Dang.
Because I started, then I, you know, as long as you do your job, you'll become an engineer. Like, these other places weren't guaranteeing you employment at the end of your internship.
You're right. They started you as an intern.
You're an intern, and you might be done as an intern too.
No, I was gonna say they started you as an engineer. They don't guarantee a job at the start, at the end.
Who?
Mean Street.
Mean Street's right.
I'm trying to get it out.
I didn't have a job then. It was like, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a test. So they didn't
and,
even pay you to do the testing thing.
Nah.
That's crazy.
I mean, I didn't expect them to, but.
So while you was doing this though, like interning at Patch, how long did you intern at Patchwork?
About maybe like a year and some change.
You
like,
interned unpaid for a year?
Yeah, for sure. I did other stuff. I worked other jobs and stuff here.
I'm about to say, you said you only came here with like 3 months worth of
living.
I
was doing like I would meet people who would be like, hey, you want to pull up and record me or whatever. So I had a little laptop, little interface and stuff like that. I go pull up on them, make a little money. I was doing a little bit of Lyft at that time.
Oh wow!
I was doing a little bit of construction with a friend of my mom's nephew has a construction company down here. So I was kind of doing like day labor with him. He paid me like $75 a day to like go out to the site and basically just I didn't have a trade. I'm not a carpenter or this and that, so he couldn't put me on those things. He'd just be like, go grab these boards and measure this and cut this. So I was just doing labor stuff. I even worked at Bojangles. Wow. But that didn't last long. That was like
that was the type of jobs you did.
Bro, that was like 3 weeks, bro. Like I was like, no,
you can't do those jobs. Look,
no.
I swear, I wish. Sometimes I wish I would have got a fast food job, but I never had one.
You want to know something?
What?
Fast food was way too fast for me. Like the work environment is too fast for me.
It be looking like chaos back there.
Yeah, it was like it's crazy because now I'm doing this stuff and it's like we could do this, but you can't do fast food. No, I can't. Like it's too fast for me. When I was in North Carolina one time, I worked at Cookout for like a month.
I know that was fast.
And then Bojangles. It was too. And I wasn't even like a person at the register. I was in the back cooking the chicken and stuff. But it's still like it was just too fast, bro.
That's crazy.
I didn't like it. It was too fast, too dirty, and a lot of work for a little bit of money.
See, I never worked at a fast food job. I even went to I remember one time I went to an open interview at McDonald's. I dressed nice, and if you know me, you know I don't really be dressing nice like that. I put on like a nice pair of slacks. This from McDonald's.
Yeah.
Had my resume printed out. I told my mom, Mom, this is when I was young.
Yeah.
I rode my bike up there, had a resume printed out. I was like, I'm gonna get this job at McDonald's. I just want a fast food job. They never called me or nothing. I called them and was like, yeah, we're not. We went with some other people. I'm like, I didn't even get an open. I went to Wendy's, Burger King. I went to a lot of fast food restaurants trying to get a fast food job, and I never got hired because people was like, that's the easiest job to get.
You didn't miss nothing. Well, I mean, like in my opinion, shout out to the people who work in fast food because it's not an easy job. In my opinion.
It does. Now I'm glad that didn't work because I be looking back there sometimes. I was like,
I don't talk crazy to people that work in those kind of jobs unless they're just talking crazy. But like I'm polite.
I couldn't have lasted in that
because I know how that.
I would have gotten fights with people. I would have been viral fighting people in restaurants.
I didn't like it.
So wait, you came down here with only 3 months worth of living. Like, did your mom get you a place? Like, where'd you stay at in Atlanta?
I found a hotel. It was a hotel that was like a bi-weekly type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew how much it was. I came with enough to stay there for 3 months.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Like I came with.
So you planned for that?
Yeah, I planned for that, and then I don't even know if I stayed there, because I moved into that house in November. I came down here in August. August, September, October. So maybe I stayed there 3.5 months, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But then moving into that house was a blessing because it was cheaper, it was cleaner. You know what I'm saying?
So how'd that even happen? How'd you move from the hotels to
the Patchwork sends out the session schedule every day,
mm-hmm.
and one day I replied to the email because it goes to everybody, and I was like, hey, if anybody knows somebody might be renting a room or any place, let me know because man, this spot got mold in it and roaches and
Dang.
and then Kurt hit me back immediately and was like, shout out to Kurt, man, that's a good dude. Kurt hit me back immediately and was like, you know, it's a room over there at the house. Keyshawn's there, you know what I mean? I know you know him. And he was like, call him and set up a time to come check it out. And if you like it, hit me back. And so I went to look at it. I'm like, this is way better. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be way better.
Than the roaches.
Yeah, way better, bro. And so, yeah, so I hit Kurt and I told him, I was like, yeah, it's dope. But I probably won't be able to move for like another 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I got to get the move-in money together. And he was like, go. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about the move-in money.
Wow.
Like, we'll work that out. Just get out of there. You know what I mean? And so he let me, like, he spread my move-in costs over like 6 months or something like that. And, yeah, man, like.
Dang. Shout out Kurt.
Yeah.
That's real.
Man, because it really was like molding, like on the walls and stuff. And I didn't realize it at first until it was like growing. Because it was, there was a window in the hotel room, but like, I'm not gonna lie, I take a lot of showers, like 2 showers a day probably at the minimum. Like, so I think the closed window and all that steam,
moisture,
the moisture, I think it like did a number on it. You know what I mean? Like,
dang.
So yeah, man, I got out of there and then it was smooth sailing pretty much. You know what I mean? Ever since then.
Dang, so you was while you was interning, you was at that hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, so you got a real starter from the bottom. Mm-hmm. Now we here, because now you a full-fledged patchwork engineer.
Yep. I used to, like, the record, like, companies with, like one time Rocco was here.
Yeah.
And he ordered a bunch of food from, I don't know, he ordered a bunch of steaks from some fancy restaurant and fucking left, like, 3 of them here. Like, you know, like the to-go things.
Yeah.
There was like 3 of them. Steaks, asparagus, potatoes, not touched. Full course, bro, not touched. And he left. Bro, I took that shit back to the hotel. I'm telling you, bro, I ate good. And then this is when Stafford was working here.
Oh, man.
And Stafford gave me a bottle of like some Jack Daniels or something like that. So I went home and had a nice steak and a drink. Like,
listen, I survived off of leftovers from Patchwork.
Man, I was eating good in that hotel room. Like,
that's really how I survived.
I got home and Martin was on. I was like, bro, I couldn't ask for a better ending to this night.
that is classic.
Steak, asparagus, a drink, and Martin for